Hello everybody, this is Luis D from PhoneArena and today we're checking out the new HTC Desire 510. This smartphone has the legitimate honor of being the first one to ship with a 64-bit processor. But surprisingly, this isn't some hotshot Android flagship from HTC, but it's instead a very affordable, very basic low-end smartphone. It's the successor to the HTC Desire 500 from last year, which was a fine but not exactly exceptional low-end phone. Its chief rivals are the Moto E, the Moto G and the new Lumia 635 from Microsoft, so let's see how this phone compares to its rivals. The HTC Desire 510 is made to be cheap and functional, not to blow your mind. It's a plastic phone, it collects more fingerprints than a forensic specialist and it's easy to scratch and get dirty. This doesn't mean the HTC Desire 510 is flimsy or devoid of charm, and it is well built too. The plastic might be cheap, but it doesn't creak or give out in hollow points. Although the Desire 510 is on the chubby side, it's still an ergonomic smartphone because the smooth edges make it easy to hold and operate. Its power and volume buttons are positioned on the left top side and right side respectively. They don't have much travel to them, but are easy to find and press, and this rings true for both right and left-handed users. The front side is home to a microphone, earpiece, camera, light and proximity sensors and a 4.7-inch display. Unfortunately, an LED notification light is not present. Up top there are the power button and a 3.5mm audio jack, and on the bottom you'll find the micro USB port. The back panel is home to a speaker grille and a main camera that lays flush with the panel. Your index finger will often touch the lens, but you will eventually lose the habit. Let's make it clear from the beginning. The HTC Desire 510's 4.7-inch display is very poor. The vertical viewing angles are terrible, with the display exhibiting extreme distortion in brightness, contrast and color temperature when skewed. It has a low resolution and pixel density, which makes for a blurry and grainy picture. The color temperature is quite off, which results in a cold bluish tint, and the colors are very washed out. And that, in short, is the story of the 510's poor display. Talking about the phone's interface, the Desire 510 runs HTC Sense 6, which is the latest version of the company's interface, on top of Android KitKat 4.4.3. HTC's beautiful interface is kept mostly intact, the way it debuted in the HTC One M8. Blink Feed, HTC's newsreader and Zoe, the video making and sharing app, are here as well. Familiar apps such as Stocks, HTC Backup, Weather and the browser are here as well. We must say HTC deserves a compliment for bringing a complete version of its user experience to the low-end Desire 510. Let's talk about the performance. Here's the best thing about it. When you aren't trying to play demanding games or browse heavy websites, the phone is wicked fast. Somehow, the new 64-bit Snapdragon 410 processor and 1GB of RAM are crushing it in this humble handset. What about raw performance though? It is middling, as expected. In almost all tests we ran, the phone is on par with HTC's current mid-range offering, the HTC Desire 816, and it's a little faster than last year's Moto G. This doesn't make it a games machine, but be sure, the smartphone will play casual titles and old console emulators quite comfortably. The HTC Desire 510 has 8GB of onboard storage, with about half of it available to the user. You will be quick to fill it, but fear not, the memory is expandable with a micro SD card. In terms of internet and connectivity, being a 4G-enabled smartphone, the Desire 510 manages a theoretical download speed of 42.2 megabits per second, which isn't bad at all. It doesn't seem to struggle with fast download speeds over Wi-Fi, 3G and 4G either, which is a very welcome plus. The stock browser is simple and functional. It doesn't seem to struggle with opening web pages with lots of content like PhoneArena, and zooming, panning and navigating is very smooth for a low-end device. In short, the Desire 510 is perfectly fine connectivity-wise. How does the HTC Desire 510 fare in the photography department? Well, the best thing about the Desire 510's fixed focus 5-megapixel main camera is the HTC camera app. The camera itself is poor, and being a fixed focus unit, we'd say it's worse than the average cam you'll find in a low-end smartphone. The selfie mode makes use of the 0.3 megapixel front cam to capture portraits. Unfortunately, these particular cameras seem to be very good at making faces look their absolute worst. As for the video recording feature, videos can be shot at a maximum resolution of 1080p with all the colorful filters applied to them as well. In the multimedia department, the Desire 510 is a mixed bag. Its video player is extremely basic. The audio app has a nice way of arranging and presenting your music in a clearly laid out gallery. However, it doesn't even have an equalizer, let alone visualizations or other extras. As for the speaker quality, the mono speaker in the Desire 510 is not impressive in any way. The sound gets slightly distorted at full volume and the music has a ringy quality to it. However, the speaker is loud enough to let you hear the ringtones in an environment that isn't too busy. Finally, let's see how the Desire 510 fares in terms of battery life. In standby mode, the Desire 510 feels like it could last for eternity, but in our battery test it managed a solid 6 hours and 59 minutes of on-screen time before it expanded its 2100 mAh battery. The phone is not especially quick to charge, as it gets to full load in 3 hours and 27 minutes when using a standard charger with 5 volts of output. Okay, in the end, what are we going to make of the new HTC Desire 510? Well, there are two things that we outright don't like about this phone, and these happen to be its display and its cameras. The screen is really poor, very washed out, it has very bad viewing angles and it's borderline unusable under direct sunlight. And as for the cameras, a 5 megapixel main cam and a VGA front cam simply don't cut it in 2014. And the lack of an LED notification light is also very questionable on this phone. All of this is a bit unfortunate really, because otherwise the 510 is a really good performer. It's nicely put together, it's comfortable to hold, and it's actually a joy to use because it's fast and it has HTC Sense 6, which is just one of the best Android experiences out there. It also has a pretty decent battery life for a phone in its class. We'd still rather have the new Moto G or the Lumia 635 because we felt they offer more value for the money. And among the lowest of low-end smartphones, the Moto E is, well, it seems like a better option because it has many similar qualities to this phone, but it happens to be priced even lower. That's our verdict here at PhoneArena. This is Luis D, and I thank you for watching us.